Picture this. A young boy named Joseph, only 17 years old, wrapped in a dazzling coat of many colors. To his father, he was the beloved son. To his brothers, he was the hated dreamer. And to God, Joseph was chosen for a destiny far greater than he could imagine. But the road to that destiny was anything but easy. Betrayal, slavery, prison. And yet, through every twist and turn, Joseph's story becomes a masterpiece of how God turns pain into purpose. And hidden inside his journey are lessons, and even prophetic mysteries that could change how you see your own life today. The story begins. Joseph's story begins with dreams. One night, he saw sheaves of wheat bowing before his sheaf. Another night, stars and the sun and moon bowed before him. Boldly, he shared his dreams with his brothers. But instead of excitement, they were filled with rage. That colorful coat, his father's special gift, became a symbol of favor, but also of jealousy. His brothers could not stand the sight of him. Favor is beautiful, but favor also attracts enemies. And Joseph was about to learn that the path to his destiny would first lead him through betrayal. Betrayal and the pit. One day, as Joseph approached his brothers in the fields, they plotted against him. "Here comes the dreamer," they whispered. They ripped the coat from his back, threw him into a pit, and debated killing him. Instead, they sold him for 20 pieces of silver to passing traders. Can you imagine the fear, the confusion? A boy who only wanted to share his dreams, now chained and carried away. Yet here's the hidden truth. The pit was not Joseph's end, it was his beginning. Sometimes, the very people who betray you push you closer to the place God has destined for you. Slavery to stewardship. Joseph was sold as a slave into the house of Potiphar in Egypt. But even as a servant, Joseph worked with integrity, and soon, everything he touched prospered. He was put in charge of the entire household. Life lesson? Even in the lowest place, excellence and faithfulness can open doors. But Joseph's story wasn't about to get easier. False accusation and prison. Potiphar's wife, burning with desire, tried to seduce Joseph. When he refused, she accused him of assault. And just like that, Joseph was thrown into prison, condemned for a crime he didn't commit. Most of us would have given up, but Joseph didn't. Because in the prison, he still used his gift. He interpreted the dreams of fellow prisoners, never knowing that his gift would soon become the key to his freedom. The dungeon dreams. Years passed. Forgotten in prison, Joseph might have thought his dreams were dead. But one day, Pharaoh himself had disturbing dreams no one could explain. Suddenly, Joseph was remembered. Brought from the dungeon, he stood before the most powerful man in the world. From prison to palace. Pharaoh described his dreams: 7 fat cows devoured by 7 thin cows, and 7 full heads of grain swallowed by 7 withered ones. Joseph, with God's wisdom, revealed the meaning: 7 years of abundance followed by 7 years of famine. Impressed, Pharaoh elevated Joseph from prisoner to ruler, second only to himself. In a single day, Joseph went from forgotten inmate to the governor of Egypt. Here's the lesson: your darkest delays are not denials. In one moment, God can shift your story from the pit to the palace. Forgiveness and redemption. The famine came, and with it, Joseph's brothers arrived in Egypt, desperate for food. They bowed before him, not knowing the man before them was the brother they betrayed. Joseph could have taken revenge. Instead, he forgave them. With tears in his eyes, he said, "What you meant for evil, God meant for good, to save many lives." That's the true mark of greatness. Not power, but forgiveness. The deeper prophecy. And here's where the story becomes even more mysterious. Joseph's life was a foreshadow of Jesus, beloved of the Father, rejected by his own, betrayed for pieces of silver, falsely accused, and then exalted to save not just one nation, but the world. Joseph's story whispers of Christ, the greater Redeemer. Conclusion: call to action. So, Joseph's story isn't just about a dreamer who made it to the top. It's about a God who turns betrayal into blessing, prison into purpose, and suffering into salvation. Whatever pit you find yourself in today, don't lose hope, because the pit might just be the very place God uses to lift you to the palace. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs hope. And stay tuned, because here at Mysteries of Scripture, we're only just beginning to uncover the hidden truths of the Bible's greatest stories.